Yeah, that's a way to start off a pay-per-view.
Contact.
Just smash your head against the...
Jericho would be proud.
Yeah. And it is recording too.
Wow.
Hello, everyone in Internet Land. This is episode 7 of the Stop the Damn Match Wrestling podcast. I am your host, Phil Lamington. Across the room from me, because I'm not sitting directly beside him, is my my F1 chat counterpart, JB. JB, how are you, my friend?
Good, man. Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And sitting kind of beside me, kind of behind me, is our other amigo, Dr. Seamus. Dr. Seamus, how are you?
Not too bad. Bit wet outside, but not too bad inside.
Yeah, as we start this, it is starting to dribble a little bit of rain. So, yeah.
Drive safe out there, people.
Yeah, be careful. Apparently, we're going to be getting rain for the rest of the week, so...
Yep.
Yay.
Yay.
La Nina.
So, we're here to talk about
That'd be wrestling.
the latest WWE pay-per-view, or special event, because Vince McMahon doesn't like terms that normal people use. Like the word wrestling, despite the fact that his company is called World Wrestling Entertainment.
World Sports Entertainment.
Can't say that here's pal.
WSE. Doesn't have the same ring to it.
No. But the latest WWE event, which was the 2021 Survivor Series.
Yay.
So, before getting stuck into it, I've got to say that I really wasn't feeling the build-up for this pay-per-view. Like, they really didn't do much to build it up.
I couldn't get invested.
Yeah, really. We'll get into the matches.
The whole brand versus brand fucking thing is irrelevant. Dead.
Yeah.
Like, when's the last time the Raw vs. SmackDown held any fucking relevancy?
Winner
Ever.
take all.
Like, ever. Like,
Invasion angle.
Invasion,
pretty
yeah,
much it.
Invasion angle. Maybe like what? I mean, wasn't NXT involved in a
Yeah,
Survivor series?
that was a couple of years ago.
That was
when,
good.
Yeah, that was good. That was alright.
Yeah.
That was something. And ECW was involved in one, I think.
Yeah.
Like, there's been a few Survivor Series that felt like something was on the line. This was not that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was back when they had actual brands and didn't have people jumping ship just randomly because they can. Or because they have a lack of wrestlers.
Because they fired them all.
Yeah, because they fire all your, female talent and wonder why they don't have any females to wrestle anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We will get to that a bit later on. So, in the first match on the main show, it was Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch versus SmackDown's Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. Now, these two, a lot of people are sitting there saying, oh, it's a genuine backstage feud between these two, and because particularly Becky Lynch has been slagging Charlotte Flair off in social media, saying, we used to be friends, but now she's a bitch, and she's got so much heat on her and everything. I think it was their way of trying to market a match that WWE wasn't marketing.
They were trying to work something anyway.
Yeah.
Like, this should have been a match to be excited for, but I couldn't invest myself in it.
And the thing was, it was a really solid match, but if you don't have the story, if you don't have the build...
I feel like because the championship wasn't on the line, it just felt like a nothing match. Like, it should have been a Mania quality match, and it probably would have been alright, but with nothing on the line, and some sort of flimsy pretext of, oh, we used to be friends, but now you're a bitch, which every second Diva match is fucking built up the same way.
And the fact that you've got two heels as champions
Yeah.
facing against each other. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like when you have a face versus a face. You spend the entire match sitting there going,
Who do I cheer for?
you spend the entire match going, who's going to turn heel? Where's it going to change? As the rain really does bucket down now.
Here we go.
But with this like, it was two heels, and when it's two heels against each other, you don't care, because you're both evil. Good's not going to prevail. Neither one of you is going to wrestle like a babyface. So what's the fucking point?
You're going to go back to your brand, your respective brand on Monday and Friday or Thursday, whenever SmackDown is. and you're just gonna go back to being normal. Like they're gonna go back to their respective brands with their belts like nothing fucking happened.
And that's what happened, because I watched Raw today, and Becky Lynch came out, started acting like a babyface, and then swerved everyone and went back to being her stupid heel character that I can't buy into. I don't get... You know what? Becky Lynch being a heel right now reminds me of Steve Austin during the Invasion angle. They really pushed him hard to be the top heel in the company, and no one bought it.
And it flopped.
It flopped. Even Steve Austin now sits there and says, I regret
Biggest
doing
mistake of his
that.
career.
That was Steve's idea to turn heel.
And it just belly flopped.
Yeah, like this is belly flopping.
And this was coming from the same guy that probably pulled off one of the best double turns in the history of the company as well, with him and Brett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He turned face and Brett turned heel in the same match, which
Yeah.
is so rare to see.
Yeah, but you're not gonna see something like that these days.
Absolutely.
Like
Well, you
Vince has
need-
his set fucking characters, how he wants them to act.
Well, in a match like that with Brett versus Steve Austin, you need two solid in-ring mechanics that can do it
Yep.
to pull it off. Steve Austin and Bret Hart were those two solid in-ring mechanics that could do it.
Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair could be those two as well. But the match just felt like there was nothing to play for.
Well, you couldn't.
It's like an exhibition match.
You,
It's like a
you couldn't do a double turn anyway because they're both heels.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like that. Then it shot itself in the foot from that perspective.
That and
Yeah.
even the crowd.
There was nothing to play for. There was
Yeah.
no marbles to play for. It was an exhibition match.
Even the crowd didn't get too behind the match too. Like there wasn't really any big cheers going on, which later on in the night we'll get to that. There
Yeah.
was, but there just was not too much energy. The wrestling was good because they both can go in the ring. We both know this. Like Charlotte fucking Flair. I mean, you can't really get much better than that. And then Becky has always been good in the ring since NXT. Those
Yeah.
two can go in the ring, and they're good at promos, but they had nothing to go on. Like, there's no writing. They both were like, oh, look, we're both champions on respective brands. We swap belts. Oh,
Do
look, let's
they-
have a match.
Do they still have the Night of Champions pay-per-view? Because this is what it felt like.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like every match is champion versus champion, brand versus brand, but
Mm.
nothing's on the line. Even
it's,
the
it's
actual
just brand
brand supremacy, and
Yeah.
they weren't. And there wasn't. I remember a few years ago there was actually a scoreboard. Like they
Yeah.
were keeping score of who was winning matches because it was like Shane versus. Was it Shane McMahon versus
Because
Steph?
you know why they don't do that anymore? Because last time they did that, they fucked up and then didn't count the pre-show.
yeah.
And-
That was 2019 when NXT was in it.
Yep, that was the NXT one.
Yeah, they didn't even have a scoreboard this time. I'm pretty sure we counted that Raw dominated this fucking event.
It was like
Yeah.
4-1, I think.
Yeah, like 4-1 or some shit, and like no one cares. No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Who cares? Like,
And-
this whole event is like fucking borderline irrelevant. Like
Well,
the whole build up for this event is Raw versus SmackDown, and we get to the night, and no one's counting. No one gives a shit.
And it was like they sort of forgot, oh, we've got Survivor Series. Because they were so focused on trying to get the Saudi Arabian show to happen and, build up Goldberg and Bobby Lashley and all that bizzo.
I still haven't seen that match. Apparently, it was actually half decent from
Yeah.
a Goldberg perspective.
I was going to say, from a Goldberg
I don't know,
perspective.
apparently, it was. I haven't seen the match. Apparently, it was half decent. Have you
But-
guys seen the match?
No?
No, I didn't even watch a pay-per-view. It's not worth it.
No. But it was almost like they went, oh,
They forgot it was
about
Survivor
a week
Series.
about a week before the match, the pay-per-view, they're like, hang on, there's Survivor Series here. Why didn't anyone tell me?
They spent the whole Survivor Series hyping up how historical of an event it was, and how the Undertaker made his debut here and The Rock made his debut, and then we get to the night and it's like, oh wait a
Neither-
minute, we're here.
Neither of them were there.
And not only are neither of them here, we haven't built anything up for this. It's like we're just oh, we're gonna have to do this on the fly.
So, yeah, we've got Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. Now, In my notes, I didn't go through the blow by blow of the matches because, quite frankly, we'd be here all fucking night if we did.
We're already here all night.
Yeah, I know. I did think there was solid in-ring action though. Like they're really.
It was a good match. Like they're both very technical wrestlers and they both know each other fairly well.
And at one point, they were actually using each other's finishes, which you know, when kind of like Rock and Austin, like they were
But
swapping.
nowhere near that level.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because the build was. We keep going back to it, but because the build wasn't there,
exactly.
and you've got two heels, no one cares.
No one gave a shit.
Who do we cheer?
Who do we boo? Fucking both of them. Fucking both of them are going to the concession stand. Fuck this.
So at the end of the match, Charlotte Flair tried to go for a roll up and had her arm on the ropes for leverage. But the referee saw it. Becky Lynch reversed it, and she also hooked her arm on the ropes for leverage, but got the 1, 2, 3, and Becky Lynch won via pinfall.
Mm-hmm.
So, JB, what would you give that match out of 5?
Like 2.
2.
I mean, it was a good match, but it just didn't excite me.
Yeah.
It's not one I'd go back and watch again.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Yeah. And through no fault of their own, because they're both the top women in the fucking company, obviously, because they both have belts. Like,
Yeah.
individually, they're fucking amazing. And if this was for a title match at WrestleMania or SummerSlam or the Royal Rumble, I'd be way into it. It'd be fucking awesome. But because there were no marbles to play for and they're both heels and there was no build, I couldn't invest myself.
Yeah.
No matter how good they are individually and how much I like watching them wrestle individually, I just couldn't get behind it.
How about you, Dr. Sheamus?
I gave it probably a 2.5. Match. The only thing that was decent about the match was the wrestling itself. We've gone over it. There was no build whatsoever for this match, other than herder, 2 champions fight. That's it.
Yeah,
Man.
one champion. They swap brands, so they had to swap belts, and one threw the belt at the other one.
Whew.
You know,
That was
Them's
your
fighting
build.
words.
That was your build.
That was just fucking epic storytelling. Let's see what AEW does to compete against that next week.
Literally anything.
Well, I'm so you, JB, you gave it a 2. Seamus,
I
you
gave
gave
it a 2. Yeah.
You gave it a 2.5. Look, initially I was going to give it a 3.5, but because of the lackluster build, I knocked half the point off it and gave it a 3.
Yeah, I didn't even think it was that good, but each to our own.
It was a solid match. I mean, we've seen better from these two,
Yeah, like you guys said.
but we've seen worse from these two as well.
Yeah, like you guys said, the best part of this match was the wrestling. Nothing
Yeah.
around
And Becky Lynch's outfit.
this match was good. The build wasn't good. The whatever, going back to their
The,
respective
the
brands.
finish was a bit
Eh.
shit as well.
The finish was cheap.
But you know, Becky Lynch's outfit.
I'm getting a shower over here.
Oh, it's probably coming in through the roof.
Yeah, all is good.
All right, so then we get to the next match, which is the first of 2 elimination matches, the traditional Survivor Series match, and this is the men's one.
Which is supposed to be the main event, right? Usually.
No,
Isn't this what the whole thing builds to?
no, they used to have title matches. They used to
Ah.
actually have title matches with belts on the line.
Oh, shit.
I mean, go back to 1997 with Montreal.
Oh, yeah, we could probably imagine what happened there.
Yeah, we'll not go with that one. So, representing Team Raw was Bobby Lashley, Austin Theory, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor. They took on Team SmackDown, which was King Xavier Woods, Happy Corbin, Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, and Sheamus. So the match starts off with Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins getting into an argument because Seth Rollins was the self-proclaimed king of, ruler of Team Raw. And the bell rings, Kevin Owens rolls out of the ring, walks up the ramp and gets counted out. Next elimination after that was Happy Corbin was eliminated by Finn Balor. King Woods. I
King Rhodes.
can't even read
He's in
my writing.
AEW.
Yes. King Woods.
King Corbin?
He was
Happy
eliminated by Bobby Lashley. And then Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre eliminate each other via double countout.
That was so
Boo.
cheap. That was so cheap.
It almost felt like they were trying to
Push a feud.
restart that feud that we've sat through for most of this year.
Yeah.
Or was it most of last year? It was most of this year, wasn't it?
I think it was most of...
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Thunderdome era. I think it started in the Thunderdome era.
It was this year
But it
because
kept going.
Drew didn't have the belt in front of a crowd.
That's right. Yeah, because at WrestleMania he challenged Bobby Lashley for the
Lost.
title, and he lost because
MVP
fucking
yelled at him.
MVP yelled at him. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, Drew, what? Oh, dead. Cheap.
Call, bang, fuck, I'm dead.
Yep.
Then after that, Finn Balor eliminated by Sheamus. I would have liked to have seen more of Finn Balor in this match.
Yeah, he was very quiet, that match.
Because he's not a demon.
True, actually.
True.
No, he'll just fall off the top turnbuckle then.
And then Sheamus was eliminated by Austin Theory.
It was me, Austin.
Who is that guy?
And then Jeff Hardy eliminated Austin Theory. And then Jeff Hardy was eliminated by Seth Rollins, with Team Raw winning, and Seth Rollins is the sole survivor.
Yay.
So my thoughts on this match, because this match, I know there was a lot of spots, and you've got 10 talented guys,
Mhm.
or as JB likes to say, most of them were irrelevant.
There's like 8 irrelevant guys and 2 main eventers.
I think they could have shaved about 5 to 10 minutes off that match. It just seemed
It
to
dragged.
go for forever because everyone had to get their shit in about 20 times.
Thought that was light.
Sheamus is buggerizing around with the light on his phone.
God damn it, Seamus.
Just got some stage lighting, what can I say?
We're here to do a podcast.
They can't see the light, man.
I can.
You can. We can.
It's not a stage
Them
show.
at home can't.
Our loyal listeners, fedora wearing, you know what.
Neckbeard, cave dwelling.
Yeah, those ones.
It's okay. Whatever these two guys say, I still support you guys.
You hate me. You hate me because you know I'm right.
They're the heels, I'm the face.
Ooh.
Cheer me.
Cheer you all you want. Anyway,
All right, well. Jesus Christ, I'm dying here, I reckon. So, Dr. Sheamus, what did you think of that match?
It was a pretty solid match. Compared to the rest of the card, I'd say it's probably the second best match on the card.
Yeah? What would you give it out of 5?
Out of 5, I'd probably give it 3.5, maybe a 4. It's pretty good.
3.5?
Yeah, I'll go 3.5. It was a pretty solid match. Like, everyone got their licks in, which was good, which is what you expect to see out of a Survivor Series match. Again, would have liked to see a bit more, like, going on your point, a bit more of Finn, but, you know, he wasn't the demon, so maybe. But I always love seeing Jeff. He got the biggest pop out of everybody out there, which is always good to see. Him and Drew, of course, being the most over. And Seth got a pop too because it's Seth.
I think this match highlighted that they don't know what to do with Kevin Owens because they don't know long-term what he's going to do.
Yeah, that's something. Did we mention that? He just walked out?
Yeah, he just balked out.
Yeah, just walks out. Did they follow that up on Raw?
He helped Big E beat Austin Theory to retain the WWE Championship
Yeah.
when Seth Rollins kept interfering, trying to help Austin Theory win the title.
Seth and KO?
Yeah, but we've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen it, and it, you know,
Austin Theory and KO?
I think they're setting up a triple threat. Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Big E for the WWE title.
I wouldn't mind seeing the belt back on KO. That'd be cool. But I
Yeah.
don't think they'll do it.
Yeah, well, his contract's supposed to be up in January, I think, or February, somewhere around there.
They might offer it to him to stay.
Oh, yeah, well, that's a nice little carrot.
Yeah, but still, I think I still think KO will go over to AEW, and he belongs over there with, Brian Danielson, and the rest of the guys over there. They're as much as I like AEW a lot more over WWE these days, purely for the fact that you see more wrestling, actual wrestling, rather than you see a whole bunch of bullshit and fake finishes and roll-ups. At least with AEW, you see wrestling, people actually getting clean pins, actually keeping a record. Don't mean to brown nose them too much, but it is seems like a much more polished product in the way of actual wrestling.
Yeah. So JB, what are your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I gave it 2.5 out of 5. I think it was a straight, pretty middle of the road match. Again, didn't feel like there was too much on the line other than brand supremacy, which no one gives a fuck about. Yeah, you're right. They could have cut 10 minutes off this match easy.
Yeah.
They could have got their spots in a lot quicker than they did. And yeah, not enough Finn Balor. But good to see Jeff Hardy having a good run. Seth Rollins, the sole survivor. Good to see him getting a push again. Not that he needs it, but it was good to see him get a push. Drew seems stuck out of the title picture. He doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Ever since he dropped the belt, he just seems stuck in this fucking, mid-card slot. Him and Bobby Lashley keep running into each other.
Stuck in irrelevancy?
Here's something. It's a little bit off the side here. But Shinsuke Nakamura, he won the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam, didn't he? Or around SummerSlam.
I think so, yeah.
You know how many times he's defended that belt since?
Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember reading that too. It's atrocious that the Intercontinental Championship, which used to be one of the most prestigious belts in the whole entire company, is being reduced to being defended twice.
That was your step-up belt.
Half a fucking year.
If you won the IC belt, you usually lost it right before WrestleMania, and then were challenging for the WWE title.
Yep.
And it
or
was
a
the
World
same.
Heavyweight title.
It was the same in WCW with the United States title.
Yeah, it was the same with
It was to show if you could draw a crowd, if it was a workhorse title belt.
Yeah, US title belt was that.
If you can't draw on that, if you fail with those belts, you're not going to get a world title.
Yeah,
shot.
that's your tester belt. It's like who's making the splash with your mid-card belt. I know John Cena was over his shit when he was US champion, and then he dropped it to JBL, or dropped it to Orlando Jordan, not Orlando Bloom, holy shit. And then
he dropped it to the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean.
He dropped it from that guy from Lord of the Rings. And but you're right, that those belts are used to gauge up and comers of their crowd reaction. And Shinsuke Nakamura was popular as hell when he first debuted.
He won the fucking Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
he still is popular.
But he just isn't used anymore.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's odd.
It kind of always brings me back to the idea that I think Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn are both racist. If you're not American or Canadian...
If you're not 6'4" and jacked.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're not American or Canadian, if you're a Brit... Australian, Kiwi, Chinese, Japanese, Russian,
except for
Italian. Yeah, but he was American.
Actually, he was too.
He's bloody Roman Reigns' brother or cousin or some shit.
Samoan.
But I mean, the Bushwhackers never got the WWE Tag Team titles. Rhea Ripley, I'm amazed that she won a Royal Rumble and she won title.
Not for long.
Yeah, not for long. What, fucking 2 months, if that?
And then they put the tag titles on her that she lost this morning.
There you go.
The British Bulldog. The best he ever got was either the tag titles, the IC strap, or the European title.
And he also got one of the loudest cheers in all of WWE history.
Yeah. At Wembley Stadium in '92 at SummerSlam.
Well, I wonder why.
Okay. you got Shinsuke Nakamura, who's been relegated to Intercontinental title on the pre-show.
Yep.
But he has the boogs.
Yeah, and I mean, Asuka. She was dominant in NXT. Put her on the main roster, and she's buried. Yeah, Kairi Sane, same thing.
Buried.
That's why I'm worried about Xia Li.
2
gonna
months,
be the
future
same thing.
endeavors.
She's
Yeah.
got the Marvel comic build-up, but she's not going to do anything.
No. Well, I mean, look. Okay, we'll get to this later. So my thoughts on that match, I actually gave it a 4 out of 5. I thought it was a really solid match, but I think they could have cut 10 minutes off it and just streamlined it a little bit. But for the amount of fucking about they did in the build with the Mysterios being in and the Mysterios they're out, it's like you're building up a storyline for a match that we've still got to wait a couple of months to go. You could have easily done it in this match where Dominic fucks up and gets Rey Mysterio eliminated, or Rey Mysterio fucks up, gets Dominic eliminated, and then they turn and off they go. Because frankly, I don't think Dominic versus Rey Mysterio is strong enough a match to be on WrestleMania.
No.
Maybe Royal Rumble.
You know, maybe on the kickoff show. Anyway. So, the next match... This kind of... Alright.
Here we go.
Gloves are off.
Promo time.
The next match is The Rock 25th Anniversary Battle Royale.
Was that what it was actually called?
Yes.
For fuck's sake.
What?
Yes.
What?
Why are they putting a Battle Royale on the Survivor Series is beyond me.
The
Everybody
Rock wasn't
likes
even
Royale.
there.
I know, we'll get to that later. But it was... What did you call it, JB? You called it the...
The irrelevancy what did I call it? The Future Endeavor fucking... The Future Endeavor match. Every irrelevant superstar that goes over the top rope gets their contract shredded. Vince McMahon standing in the entranceway with their contracts
So
and
it's
a paper shredder.
It's the budget cut Battle Royale.
Yeah, pretty much everyone that didn't get an entrance, and there was like everyone but like 4 guys got an entrance.
Yeah, I actually started trying to write down who's in the match. And then I realised they only did entrances for like 4 guys.
Yeah, and there was like 25 guys in it, and I didn't recognise any of them.
Surprisingly, Ricochet got an entrance.
I knew Ricochet, and I knew Omos and AJ, and I'm pretty sure Cesaro was in that match.
Yes.
It was.
He was in the corner, and you didn't see fuck all of him.
Well, there's another guy. Because he's Swiss. Vince McMahon sits there and says, he doesn't connect with the crowd.
He does.
He's one of the most
huge.
over people. Fucking.
I have a question for Vince McMahon. Right, you said to me during the pay-per-view that apparently Michael Cole has lost like
65% of his
65% of his hearing loss. How much has Vince McMahon lost?
all of it.
You know,
He
how
was
much of his
doing an
hearing
e-
has he lost, and how many of his fucking brain cells has he lost?
He's doing a fucking angle with a golden egg from a fucking movie.
Oh, I'm gonna get to that a bit later. Whoa.
So anyway, there's this fucking... What did I call this? The Dragon Ball Z filler episode match? It's like this shitty, like, filler episode in between Goku kicking ass.
It's the Monster of the Week Supernatural episode.
Yeah, it's the filler episode that you watch it and you hate yourself for watching it and you want to skip it.
It's the episode you're excited for until you start watching. You're like, the fuck?
What is this? Yeah, the only time they do like stupid battle royals is usually WrestleMania on the kickoff show, where all the irrelevant talent come out just to say they were at WrestleMania,
Get the paycheck.
even though no one's watching because the crowd's still coming through. And yeah, no, it was dumb. I hated this.
It was
though
solid. It was a solid match,
Even
but it
though-
was a filler.
the world's greatest technical wrestler of all time outlasted all 25 men.
Yeah, what he means by that is that Omos eliminated Ricochet at the end to win the damn thing.
I wanted to see him javelin launch Ricochet halfway down the fucking aisle because it would have been awesome. I feel like he tried to and Ricochet botched the jump. Because he would have gone about 20 fucking meters and it would have been fantastic.
It's Ricochet. He doesn't botch jumps.
All right, JB, what would you give it out of 5?
5.
I think because I almost won.
Because the greatest technical wrestler of all time won. Actually, no, I'm going to give it 4.5 because his javelin throw of Ricochet was shit. But other than that, it was a brilliant technical masterpiece from Omos.
It's up there with Goldberg versus Willie Regal in WCW, right?
And kicking Bret Hart in the head.
Okay, Sheamus, what do you reckon?
I'll give it a 3.5 again. It was, again, a pretty solid match. You guys got to see a few select people actually get stuff in before they inevitably got thrown out by Omos, who I think got like 9 or 10 eliminations.
I'm amazed Ricochet made it to the end.
Yeah, me too.
You know, like next week he's going to get future endeavoured for budget cuts, so get his shit in before he's out the door. Okay, so the trend so far with the scoring of these matches has been, I've been pretty generous, and you two have been pretty savage. So, JB, you gave this a 4.5.
Yes, because it was a technical masterpiece.
Catch as catch can classic. It's a real slobber knocker.
Shawn
Thanks,
Michaels, that
JR.
you?
It was Shawn Michaels Bret Hart Iron Man match all over again. And Sheamus, you gave it a 3.5, right?
Yes.
I get it a 2.5. That was just filler fucking bullshit that should have been on the pre-show, and you should have put Shinsuke versus Damian Priest with his doesn't really know what ethnicity or what his character is. Fucking shit. Should have put that on the main roster.
No. But yes, you're correct. I mean, you're absolutely right, but I'm just glad I got to see technical greatness.
Yeah, between Omos and General Aziz
Omos
and that other dude that I was sitting there going, who the hell's that guy?
Omos and Goldberg would put like, the Hardy Boys to shame, seriously.
Shank, I think it was.
Shank. You know, it sounds like something you'd do to someone in prison.
No, that's Shank. Not Shink.
Shit, I thought that was his name, Shank.
I have no idea.
Alright, moving right along. We're going to get kicked off YouTube. Next match was the Raw Tag Team Champions rated RK Bro.
Just gonna say what?
Rated RK.
Rated RK who? Edge, is that you?
I don't. So they're not called rated RK Bro. They're just called
RK
Bro.
Bro. Yeah.
Right. So the Raw Tag Team Champions, RK Bro, versus the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. Now, the first thing I noticed was there was a lot of great chemistry between the four guys in the ring. Orton clearly is having fun with this.
Yep.
Yeah, he loves it.
Like,
He doesn't have to take himself seriously.
He doesn't have to carry an entire match by himself.
Nope.
He's got a tag partner who he seems to work really well with because he lightens up his mood.
Yep. They've probably been smoking fucking wacky tobacco like every fucking night.
The one thing I did notice was that Matt Riddle botched a GTS.
Yeah, badly.
Like, he completely missed it. I mean, CM Punk was probably online just sitting there going, you fucking idiot. The other thing I noticed, and this is only a minor sort of quibble, and you could say the same thing about the Young Bucks in AEW. The Usos need to lay off the super kicks.
Yeah, but it's been their thing forever.
Yeah, and it's
been their thing
annoying.
since they were wrestling the New Day every fucking week for like 12 straight years.
Just kick after kick after kick after
But that's
kick.
yeah, that's just been their thing.
Yeah, but I mean, look at
Kicks and splashes, that's what they've built on.
Super kick party.
And Samoan drops, even though they're both midgets.
they're all midgets.
They look like midgets.
But the finish had a really, really incredible RKO from Randy Orton.
Yeah, it was a smooth finish. I like that.
Typical awesome RKO.
So
Super RKO.
the other thing I noticed, and it's the same thing about the men's elimination match, he could have shaved 5 minutes off it though. It did drag a little bit.
This didn't drag as badly though. This was
No,
an entertaining.
That's why I
fucking-
said only 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. But Randy Orton got the pinfall and the win, meaning that's 4 matches now where Raw has won.
Not that anyone was fucking counting but us.
Yeah. I actually gave the match 3.5 out of 5.
Hell yeah.
How? What do you reckon, JB?
I gave it 4 out of 5. This was legitimately my second favourite match of the night. This was fucking good.
But behind the Battle Royale.
Yeah, behind Omos's technical brilliance, shimmering chemistry, and wrestling mastery, Matt Riddle and Randy Orton were a close second. No, this was my second favourite match behind the main event.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant chemistry. Brilliant chemistry. The Usos went nuts. Bloody RK Bro are a great tag team, and the RKO at the end was the cherry on top. I thought it was a fantastic match.
How about you, Seamus?
With this one, I'll give it a. I think I'm with Johnny here. Yeah, I'll give it a 4 as well. It was a pretty solid tag team match. I enjoyed it. I wasn't bored at any time during it. It was a good pace, which is always good to see. I mean, Usos have always been an amazing tag team, and Randy Orton is clearly, as you said, enjoying himself in this
ironically, we bitched about it all night, but this match had no build-up at all.
Funnily enough, it didn't have any build-up at all, but it had enough energy in the actual match itself that you could tell the people inside were having fun. It wasn't just, oh, we go through this move, we go through this move. It was unpredictable, which was pretty cool. And you didn't know who was going to win. It wasn't kind of, oh, we all know that Roman's, going to win. Spoiler alert, but everyone's actually seen who's going to listen to this anyway. But, yeah, it wasn't super predictable at who's going to win at the end.
Yeah, like, we bitched all night that, the build-up for all these matches was shit and irrelevant and crap. This match had no build-up at all, but it didn't need a build-up. Because by the time they got in the ring, they just went out and did their jobs, and it was brilliant and entertaining. And it was the second best match on the card, easily.
I think because you had a heel team and a face team.
Yeah, people knew who to cheer.
That you knew who to cheer and who to boo.
Yeah,
that was what worked against the women's match, was they were both heels, so you didn't know who to cheer for.
Yeah.
And it, with all the stuff that's been going on in social media between Charlotte and Becky,
yeah,
it felt like it was a forced angle.
Yeah.
Whereas these guys hardly had anything to do with each other in the build-up. It was just, they're the Raw Tag Champs, they're the SmackDown
Yeah, they just happened to be holding the belt at the same time, so get in there and it was good. And it was fucking brilliant.
And they have good chemistry together, those two teams.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, moving right along, we get to the next match, which is the other traditional Survivor Series elimination match and it was the women's one. So, representing Team Raw was Rhea Ripley, Queen Zelina, Carmella, Bianca Belair, and Liv Morgan. And Team SmackDown was Natalya, Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, and Toni Storm.
Shotzi lost a black art.
Yeah, another one of Vince's madcap ideas. Like, let's get rid of her name. So the match started off, and Carmella was the first person eliminated by Toni Storm because she was too busy frigging around with her mask.
5 stars straight away because you get eliminated first.
Yep, 10 points for fucking Gryffindor. Zelina Vega was then eliminated by Toni Storm. Then Toni Storm was eliminated by Liv Morgan. And then Liv Morgan was eliminated by Sasha Banks. Then Rhea Ripley eliminated by Shayna Baszler. Sasha Banks was eliminated by count out because she started fighting with her own damn team. That seemed to happen a lot.
It happens at every Survivor Series, like a team will implode. And it's usually the team that's winning at the time.
Well, I don't know. The Team DX with the Hardys and CM Punk back in 2006.
They swept.
Yeah, because they took on the Spirit Squad.
What a joke.
God, that was a classic match.
The only member of the Spirit Squad that survived that was fucking Dolph.
Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Who's Kenny?
No, he was Nikki.
Nikki, sorry, not... Kenny actually came back.
Kenny Dykstra.
Yeah, Kenny Dykstra actually came back with the angle with Dolph. I remember that.
Then after that, Natalya was eliminated by Bianca Belair.
Boo.
Shayna Baszler was eliminated by Bianca Belair. And then Shotzi was eliminated by Bianca Belair for Team Raw to win yet again, and Bianca Belair was the sole survivor.
Yeah, I called that early.
So I'm going to say something about this match. Like, the established people like Sasha Banks and Carmella and Queen Zelina, if you want to call her an established talent. Someone chuckled there. I thought they really in terms of the match, they dropped the ball.
There could have been a lot more to this match than there was, and there just wasn't.
And even to me, Bianca Belair, like, she looked strong and everything, but the MVPs in this match for me were Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley. The two Aussie girls. Particularly Toni Storm and Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan was a bit of an MVP in this match as well.
She did well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if one good thing came out of this match, it was pushing Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and Bianca Belair.
Bianca Belair already had her push.
Yeah.
And then lost at SummerSlam in 16 seconds, and there goes her push.
Yeah. I think with Bianca Belair, though, her entire problem was the chase was better than what came after it.
She should have stayed champion for a lot longer than she was.
So what you're saying, Johnny, was when push came to shove?
Right. But I mean, yeah, like Toni Storm really showcased what she could do in this match. Same with Rhea Ripley. Even Liv Morgan was showing flashes of she could be something.
Yeah, there were good spots in this match. There were high points. I feel like this match was slightly better than the men's. Honestly, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I think those who stood out enough showed what they can do more than the men's match. Felt pretty flat.
The only real major issue I have with this match was how it became 3 versus 1 against Bianca Belair.
And she just yeah.
She John Cena'd it.
And it wasn't even like impressive. It was just like, boom, roll up pin, boom, random move, roll up pin,
And then boom, KOD,
boom,
pin.
KOD pin. Like it wasn't even like an impressive, enthusiastic comeback. It was just like, we've got 3 minutes left in this match. I need you to pin these 3 in 3 minutes.
It felt like when John Cena and the WWE people took on the Nexus
Yeah.
at SummerSlam, and like Super Cena no-sold a DDT on the concrete
Yeah.
and beat a 10 count, and then beat the Nexus. It felt like that.
Yeah.
You know.
And I sort of knew it would. Like once it was Belair versus those three, I'm like, here comes the Belair fucking surge.
yep.
Like she'll win this 3-on-1. I just thought it would be more impressive than it was. It felt really rushed. It's like I'm just gonna hit you some round, I'm gonna button mash for about 3 minutes, score 3 pinfalls, and turn the Xbox off.
It was like someone storing up all their finishes on SmackDown, one of the SmackDown games.
But I think it was only the last pinfall that she actually hit a finisher.
Oh, yeah.
The other two were like, it was like a roll-up pin, and then I think it was like 2 roll-up pins or something, or a pin off a random move, and then the last one was her finisher. Yeah, I know.
I think it made Shayna Baszler look pretty weak, which she doesn't need at the moment. She needs to be made to look strong.
She already had the push. We talked about this during the match.
Yeah, that's right.
She fucking steamrolled everybody up to the Becky Lynch match at Mania.
And the
and
thing
then
is,
lost.
her push was cold because Vince McMahon is an idiot.
Yep.
Because she had a match with Natalya, and he hated it so much he sent them out to redo it.
You could have had a dominant monster women's champion that wasn't named Nia Jax. Like Shayna Baszler could have just been the ultimate heel, fucking choking people out. Getting booed, like super heat.
And the thing is,
But just let Becky beat her at Mania.
like, they've tried to make Nia Jax and Tamina monster heels. And yet the only person that I've seen on the women's roster in the last couple of years who looks like a monster and wrestles like a monster is Rhea Ripley. Like, she's not God, you try and find a word that's not offensive about this. She's not she's not a large girl.
Yes,
No.
monsters are typically large.
But Rhea Ripley is, 6 foot something. and
Yeah, but
built
Shayna,
like a brick
Shayna
shit.
Baszler could have been that.
Yeah.
Shayna Baszler easily, with her MMA background, could have easily been a monster heel champion for ages.
Yeah.
And Vince missed that shot.
Yeah, because he is
And-
so stuck in the 1980s.
And now we're stuck here watching Shayna Baszler lose fucking Survivor Series matches in roll-up pinfalls.
And the worst thing about it is you've got someone talented like Shayna Baszler, talent like Tony Storm, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley. All the people in this match that we're sitting here saying
Yeah.
did really well.
Yeah.
And who's got the belts? Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair.
On their own, which is fine,
You know,
but together they sucked. Yeah, I don't know. But you know what? I gotta shout out my girl, Natty. She's
Yeah,
looking fine. Damn, she's lost some weight. She's looking so good. Good on you, Natalia.
you know she's never going to hold the women's title.
She'll never
ever
be
again.
women's champion, and that's fine. But
She's an enhancement talent now.
yeah, well, who cares? She did her job. She had a good match.
She was the ringmaster of the match.
She was all over the park tonight, just flowing traffic
Mm.
and looking good. Looking good.
Natty's always been good in that kind of role, though.
Yeah, exactly. Like she's underrated.
Just look at her family.
Yeah, I mean she's got the pedigree, obviously.
Okay, well, JB, what would you give the match out of 5?
Well, I gave the men's match a 2 out of 5. I'm going to give the women's match 2.5 out of 5 because, yeah, actually, no, I think I gave the men's match 2.5 out of 5, so I give the women's a 3. I thought it was good. I thought it was better than the men's match. I think that, as I said, those that shone out and stood out did their jobs perfectly. Showed what they could do. It didn't feel as flat as the men's match. So, yeah.
How about you, Seamus?
I gave it probably a 2.5. There was moments in it, but I don't think it was as good as the men's. Contrary to you, Johnny.
That's all right.
I gave it a 3. I think, like I said, the MVPs of the match, like the Tony Storms and that, made it interesting. But the established ones, like a Sasha Banks, not so much Natalia, because Natalia did her job.
Yep.
But Sasha Banks,
Ripley.
Carmella, they really sort of dropped the ball.
Yeah.
It was a really good way of showcasing guys like Tony Storm and Rhea Ripley.
Maybe that might have been the point of the match. Maybe to let...
But what they go from here...
Shotzi.
Yeah, Shotzi.
Why did they turn Shotzi heel?
She was like a great face, too.
I know.
If anyone should turn heel, like, Tony Storm was a good heel. Leave
But
her
Tony
heel.
Storm's also great as a babyface.
Yeah, but she's good at
funny as fuck.
she's good at doing both roles.
Yeah.
Whereas you got Ripley, who's an amazing anti-face. Like, anti-hero, sorry, face.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, you've got wrestlers out there and characters out there that they're just naturally a face or naturally a heel. Charlotte Flair is naturally a heel. Becky Lynch is naturally a face. So the fact that Becky Lynch is a heel at the moment isn't fucking working.
Hmm.
You know, Shotzi, face. You know, Rhea Ripley could probably be a good heel.
And then you've got incredible wrestlers who can do both.
Yeah, and then you got good talent that can do both.
Kurt
And you
Angle.
got good talent that end up getting released.
Like all of them.
Kurt Angle comes to mind as a good heel and a face.
Yeah,
Played great
was
in both the roles.
He was a great bad guy and he was a hilarious fucking good guy.
Absolutely.
Yep.
The Rock. Another one.
Yep.
Hollywood.
Triple H?
Yeah, Triple H. Or Triple H played a better heel than he did face.
He was a good heel, but when he was in DX, it fucking loved
Actually,
him.
you're right. Yeah, in DX,
Like
of course.
DX Triple H was fucking awesome.
Well,
Easy-
DX
easy
Triple
to
H
get
was
behind.
both.
Yeah, he could be a heel, but he was easy to get behind as a face. But when he was fucking world heavyweight champion for a million years,
Oh, Evolution Triple H was
Evolution.
boring as hell.
yeah, he
Absolutely.
fucking really was. But anyway, enough about that.
Well, I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. I thought it was better than the men's. Only just.
Then we get to the main event, which is WWE Champion Big E versus Universal Champion Roman Reigns.
Hell yeah.
Wasn't there a segment in between that, though?
The egg segment.
We'll get to that after.
We'll get to that.
All right.
So this match actually had a really good build-up. Like
Yes.
this had a build-up that was made this match worth watching. Made this pay-per-view worth buying or watching on the network or watching on Peacock or
You can't say that.
illegally streaming it.
We do not endorse illegal streaming.
You may not.
I thought it was a really solid match. Where I started taking notes with a bit more of the blow-by-blow on this match.
Just doing a Mexican wave.
They're waving at shit.
No, there's bugs in here.
Oh, right.
Just doing a Mexican
We're
wave.
doing a Mexican wave like the
Doing a
crowd was
Mexican
during the fucking...
Oh, well, the women's match, they started chanting for CM Punk.
and doing a Mexican wave, and that's what we're doing now.
They've resorted to a Mexican wave.
We're doing a Mexican wave while you read out the match blow.
Right, so about halfway through it, Roman Reigns starts getting real heat by taunting the crowd,
Yeah.
which I quite enjoy. You don't see enough of that.
Not from Roman.
Sort of that Scott Steiner style of getting heat by...
He wasn't swearing profusely.
No, that's true.
Mojo.
Telling your mother that she sucks.
Give me that fucking microphone.
Braun Breaker is fucking awesome, though, I'm just saying. Big E... fuck, I can't even read mine already. Here we go. So Big E started unloading, like, huge overhead belly-to-belly suplexes on Roman Reigns.
He's
He's
got a
not-
good suplex on him, eh?
Not an
Yeah.
easy feat on a guy like Roman's build too.
Yeah. Eventually, Roman Reigns started to sound like JR or some shit. Roman Reigns lands a rock bottom.
Yeah, that was...
Actually called as rock bottom too.
that was a call out.
Yeah,
That-
you know
that
why
might
they
be some-
called it out.
That
though.
might be some epic foresight.
And then Roman Reigns starting to hit Big E with a whole bunch of Superman punches, and Big E starts hulking up. I use that term very loosely after every one. He got about 3 Superman punches. He was hulking up after every one of them.
Looked like he was having a fucking seizure, but yeah. We'll call it
So
hulking.
did Hulk Hogan.
We'll call it hulking up.
Clearly, you haven't seen Hogan versus Warrior from WrestleMania 6.
I did.
Which is ironic as hell, Big E hulking up because he hates the man.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's a racist. I forgot.
So, eventually, pardon me. Eventually, Roman Reigns is on the apron, and Big E does the scariest spear. Like, he speared through the ropes onto Roman Reigns, and he nearly spiked his head when he hit the deck.
The thing with Big E's spears on the edge like that, all of them look like that. He just falls flat. Like, unlike a spear, say like from edge or off the side to like on a table or something, like he did to Mick Foley, where he falls backwards. They just fall flat, like straight down. It's
Yeah,
like gravity stops, just goes down.
Big E's like a fucking bumblebee. Like he just like floats through the air, and then there's like enough wind resistance, he just stops and falls
Sinks.
flat. It just gets to a point, and then gravity's just like, nah, you've had enough. You're not gonna fall in like an arc. You're gonna fall in a right angle. Just does.
But then what happened after that was he picked him up, rolled him in the ring, and then Roman Reigns hit him with a spear.
And won the match.
No, not yet. We're not there yet.
Oh, it was close.
And then Roman Reigns put him in his guillotine choke, and Big E fought out of it and turned it into a big ending.
Oh yes.
And then Big E gets driven into the stairs and hurts his left knee.
Yep. Which
Then
was
he-
already hurt, but he'd no sold for most of the match.
Yeah. Rolls him, he goes into the ring, Roman Reigns hits him with another spear, pins him, and gets the win.
Yeah.
Getting SmackDown their one and only win all night.
It's the only one that counted.
Most important one.
Yep.
All right, Seamus, what's your thoughts on the match?
This one gets a 4.5 from me. It was the best match of the night by a country mile.
Mm-hmm.
Had a great build-up. Both of the wrestlers are talented in the ring. Roman's an amazing heel. Big E is a lovable face by everybody. I'm pretty sure not a single person that I know hates the guy.
Nope.
Puts in a whole bunch of work. He is the strongest in the backstage area from what I'm aware of, like pound for pound. And it shows. Like, he could manhandle Roman Reigns, whereas not many people other than maybe Bobby Lashley could pull that off. Very, very entertaining match, and I enjoyed the crap out of it.
So you gave it a 4 or 4.5?
4.5.
4.5. JB, what do you think?
I was going to give it a 4.5 as well, but I'm knocking it down at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I felt the ending was rushed. I feel like the spear off the ropes was just a quick finish. I feel like he could have done more.
Well, apparently the pay-per-view was running behind.
Ah, right. That explains it then.
Everyone was panicking before the last match because they had to have the whole pay-per-view over by 11:35.
Yeah, right.
American time.
Yep.
So I
Was it-
wouldn't be surprised if they did rush the ending on
Yeah,
it. But
it
you
felt
could-
rushed.
Yeah, I didn't think it was rushed.
It was a long pay-per-view as it is. It was, what, 3.5
Yeah.
hours?
3
I
hours,
think
29 minutes.
I think it
Mm.
could have. He could have done with maybe a Superman punch into a spear ending, but whatever. Good match, good build-up. Two guys that fucking brought it on the night, and it was a clean fucking win for Roman Reigns for once.
Yeah,
No interference.
yeah.
So it was good. And
So you gave it a 4.
yeah, I give it a 4.
I give it a 4 as well. I think it was the best match of the night.
Yep.
Told a really good story. The build for it was intriguing. You clearly had a face. You clearly had a heel.
Yep.
It was it really did make Roman Reigns still look like the monster heel that he has been for over a year now.
Yeah, it looked Roman still looked like the monster heel, but Big E lost no credibility either.
Yeah,
No,
Because
that's
it
right.
made it look like Big E could go fucking step for step with him.
protected Big E as well.
Yep.
Yeah, it made both champions look strong.
It was a win-win situation.
Yeah. So yeah. So my my final thoughts on the pay-per-view, the pros of the match. Like, obviously Big E and Roman Reigns. RK Bro versus the Usos.
Yeah,
Mhm.
brilliant.
Both elimination matches. I enjoyed them.
The men's was a bit flat. The women's was okay. I mean, the women's, I feel like, shone more.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we've said all night, brand supremacy doesn't mean fuck all now. It felt like there was really nothing to play for.
Well, in the cons, or the bad things about this pay-per-view, I didn't care about Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair.
No, I
Just
couldn't
didn't
get
care
invested.
about it.
Just because there was nothing to play for. It wasn't a title match.
I don't think the Battle Royale should have been on there.
I should have been on the pre-show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, here's two other things that we kind of really haven't talked about that were cons for me. They were bad points about this pay-per-view. The constant plugs for The Rock, knowing full well that he is not there.
Yep. 25th anniversary of a guy who's not even in the same fucking...
Did you know what he put up on Twitter about half an hour after the pay-per-view ended?
What?
A photo of a sandwich.
Good on him.
So clearly Rock didn't give two shit nuggets about a pay-per-view that was designed to sit there and flog him and his movie Red Faction?
Red Warning? No, what was it called?
What's the movie called?
Fucking Red
Red Dead
something.
Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Red Faction, Red Fiction.
Red some shit.
Yeah. I honestly couldn't give two shit nuggets
Red
about the
War-
movie.
Apparently it's a pretty good movie, though.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Ryan Reynolds and The Rock are pretty good actors.
Yeah,
I
but
give
it's
them
got Gal Gadot.
that. She's okay. She's good looking, at least.
God. Give me Eva Green any day of the week. Eva Green, Leia Seydoux. Done.
Last I do.
Yes.
My girl.
Done.
Um,
The other thing
Yes.
that aggravated me about this pay-per-view was a storyline. I'm going to do the air quotes with that.
it was called
Storyline.
Red Faction, I think. I think it was called Red Faction.
That was a video game.
Well, now it's a fucking movie.
Yeah. The other sort of storyline that I thought was a complete and utter pile of bullshit was Vince McMahon and the goddamn golden egg.
Which was a plug for the movie.
Oh,
It
who
was the
cares?
movie. The whole thing, all night, it was The Rock's movie.
Red Notice, by the way.
Red Notice?
Yeah. All right.
Fucking, okay. I care about that much as the fucking final scoreboard.
The final countdown.
So, the whole night was The Rock, Red Faction, the 25th anniversary of The Rock that no one gave a shit about.
Not even The Rock.
Not even The Rock gave a shit about the fucking Rock's 25th anniversary.
And then someone stole the golden egg.
And then the golden egg storyline. Oh, this is Cleopatra's actual egg. It's not from the set. And then you see the egg in the trailer for the movie and it's a completely different fucking egg.
It's worth $100 million.
$100 million and someone stole it.
The only thing missing from Vince McMahon saying it was worth $100 million was him holding his little finger up to his mouth like he's Dr. fucking Evil.
It was fucking moronic. You wrapped your entire pay-per-view around a fucking movie for a superstar that wasn't even there.
Yeah.
That didn't even give a shit about it.
And then the next day on Raw, it was revealed it was Austin Theory that nicked the golden egg. And he got rewarded with a title shot against Big E for stealing the egg.
And lost.
It's just... It's moronic writing.
You know what? I mean, that Battle Royal was also based around giant fucking boxes of Pizza Hut pizza.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
don't you start shit talking pizza.
Oh, the pizza was the second best part of that match.
There's a pepperoni
The
pizza.
best part of that Battle Royale was...
Omos's technical ability.
no, them throwing the pizza.
Yeah,
Dis-
I didn't realise you could throw a piece of pizza that far.
Throw a piece of pizza into the second level.
I've never seen a pizza fly that far. Like, how much topping was left on that fucker when it landed?
Probably
Fuck
nothing.
all.
Just nothing.
You're getting the dough base.
It's just a dough bag.
Some motherfucker in the third row is getting slapped in the back of the head with pieces of pepperoni, just falling from the fucking sky.
Piece of pepperoni just falls in the drink.
Omos is tossing pizza like 900 feet in the air.
Gets stuck to the roof.
You know what? New Day's pancakes are pretty cool, but it ain't got nothing on a fucking piece of flying pepperoni.
Right, so... I have actually just forgotten what our final score we call it. But
Cheese graters.
The cheese graters.
cheese graters. That's it. That's it.
We were just talking about.
That's for the yellow devil at home. So I gave the pay-per-view 4 cheese graters out of 5. I thought it was pretty solid. If this was an AEW pay-per-view, it would have been a 2 or a 3. But because it's the best that WWE can do with a Survivor Series, and if it was a good way to start building some talent, some new talent for, because we've got WrestleMania season coming up.
Because they released half of their old talent.
Well, we'll get to that in a sec. I just thought it was a good way of showcasing some newer talent, particularly in the women's title, the women's elimination match. And then you had Roman Reigns and Big E that stole the show. How about you, JB? How many cheese graters would you give it?
I'll give it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
The opening match was shitty. The Battle Royal, as amazing as Omos's wrestling ability is, was a filler match. But the rest of the card was pretty fucking good. But I mean, the whole fucking thing being built around a fucking movie that no one's going to watch for a superstar that wasn't watching, they were all there. You know, The Rock didn't give a shit about this. No one's going to go watch Red Notice.
Yeah.
It's
No
actually
one's-
like the...
No one's going to go watch it.
it debuted on number 1 on Netflix, and it
Yeah.
was like one of the most watched movies on Netflix.
So no one's going to watch it.
But
you know,
to my knowledge, I think they're also running it in the movies here.
Yeah, they are.
fair enough. But I mean, you know,
But it's kind of different for a Netflix movie to actually be on big screen.
Something's got to run at the cinema. I can't keep going and watching No Time to Die 30 fucking times.
yeah, Top Gun 2 doesn't come out till like fucking February or some
I say
shit.
there will be soon.
No,
With,
it's June now.
Oh,
It's been
get
pushed back
fucked.
to June.
there will be soon with Spider-Man coming out as well.
Yeah, you got Spider-Man is in December,
The new Venom movie's out.
2 days' time.
Yeah, I might
Mm.
go watch that.
Yeah.
I still got to watch the first one.
It's good.
Yeah, it is good.
I heard it's pretty good.
Yeah.
You've got the new Matrix,
Another hard
Boxing
yellow.
Day,
Yeah.
New.
Ghostbusters Afterlife. Every other country in the
No.
world has got it. We've got to wait until fucking New Year's Day to watch it.
No.
What the fuck?
Anything's better than the shit show that was the other Ghostbusters movie.
The one
Oh
one.
God! Don't even. don't watch the director's cut on Blu-ray. It goes longer.
Oh god. Isn't that meant to be the opposite? The director's cut's meant to be a shorter version?
No, director's cut's supposed to be the longer version. with more
Director's
stuff in
cuts
it.
are like got all the deleted scenes put back into it usually.
Yeah. Except this one just makes all the crappy jokes go longer.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. But,
But anyway, this pay-per-view was okay.
right. Seamus, what were you giving it out of cheese graters?
I give it a 3.5. The good matches were good, but the bad matches, like the women's battle, the women's Royal Rumble, the women's Survivor Series match, even we'll get there. And the men's over the top rope just shouldn't have been there. Like
Yeah.
they should either have been better or shouldn't have been there at all.
Yeah.
The bad matches let it down significantly, but the Big E match, as we've been saying, stole the show. Absolutely brilliant match. Saved the show.
Right, now before we go, every other wrestling sort of thing has been talking about this. What the fuck is the go with WWE releasing everyone? Like,
Budget cuts.
Oh, fuck off, budget cuts.
Budget cuts.
We'll start with the joyous. Well, releases should never be joyous, but in us three joyous releases being Nia Jax finally got fucking released.
Woo.
Well, the sad thing is that she took time off for mental health reasons.
Hmm.
And then she asked for more time off, and they let her go because she asked for more time off.
Which is pretty fucked up, but she should have really been released before that because she was unsafe to work with.
Injuring every motherfucker.
Actually, what made me happier was that Eva Marie got released.
That too, that's what I was getting to as well.
Yeah, I'm glad that ditzy bimbo got shown the door because fuck, she was useless.
Got
Our
hired to be
very
useless.
first podcast was fucking built around shitting on her.
Oh,
So Eva Marie, thank you for launching our careers with your
I
fucking
think
talent.
that was mainly me just taking a great big diarrhea squat on her. You know,
Thank you.
just
Your
liquid shit.
your
Yeah.
talentless wrestling ability launched our careers into wrestling podcasting.
The only good things she was, only two things she was good for was to help Doudrop and to help us.
Yeah, but I mean, they've turned Doudrop heel.
She should be
Stupid.
named Piper Nevin still.
Absolutely.
I do think Doudrop is kind of cute, though. I will say that. But
I wouldn't say cute, but I do believe she has brilliant wrestling technical ability that
That
needs
too.
to be fucking like
you go
main
watch
rostered.
her versus
I
Tony
watched her
Storm.
in NXT.
Her versus Tony Storm.
Mm.
Yeah,
Quality.
she can wrestle.
Yeah,
for
she
a,
can
for a
move.
bigger girl, she can fucking move.
But
I was there to shooting star press.
She probably could. I don't know.
but
Maybe.
there was talent that got released where I sit there and go, why would you do that? I mean, Tegan Knox,
Yep.
she was incredible in the ring when she wasn't getting injured.
Yeah. Injuries really let her down, unfortunately.
And I mean, when she did her injury during the Mae Young Classic, and she kept trying to go in the match, and it was with Rhea Ripley. She helped Rhea Ripley become a heel
Mm.
and a monster heel by simply having a bad stroke of luck, and she stuffed her, she tore her ACL, I think.
2 words. John Morrison. What
Yeah.
a fucking letdown. This man is one of the most athletic people on that roster that we've seen from watch Lucha Underground. He was an absolute beast. He
There-
can talk, he can wrestle, and they did a whole bunch of fuck all with him since they brought him back after the...
After we finally
Royal
got
Rumble.
him back,
Yeah.
They stuck him back with the Miz.
Which, they were funny, don't get me wrong. They actually work well together with promos, but he didn't get a chance to shine in singles at all. And I
And-
love the guy.
A week before they fired him, they fired his wife, Taya
Yeah.
Valkyrie, Frankie Monet.
Which I think John asked to be released after that. I think he said, I want out after his missus
mean-
got released.
Karrion Kross got released. Scarlett Bordeaux got released. Keith Lee got released. How do you not do anything with Keith Lee?
because
Yep.
you change his name to Bearcat and then you run out of ideas.
And,
And-
like Vince McMahon could not see anything in him. Is
And he was
blind?
over as fuck with the crowd. People loved him.
His promos always reminded me of Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yep.
He didn't have to rant. He didn't have to yell. He just spoke in a smooth, calming voice.
And he
That
could fucking wrestle.
menacing.
Fuck,
And he could
wrestle.
move.
I mean, look at Survivor Series, 2 years ago? where he got the rub from Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
2 years later, he's been shown the door because Vince McMahon doesn't see anything in him because Vince McMahon is a fucking potato.
AEW
Instead,
should pick him up 100%.
He lets go of Keith Lee, but he's still got General Aziz and Omos on his roster.
Oi.
What isn't he? Two guys that are just
Don't
fucking
you.
El Gigante, Giant Gonzalez, Ric Flair. I'll kill you.
Technical prowess of Omos does not need to be degraded in this manner.
The only wrestler who was ever worse than El Gigante, Giant Gonzalez, was the Great Khali, because he shuffled around the ring like a... he looked hopeless, he acted hopeless, and he sold hopeless.
Hey, at least he could squish Rey Mysterio's head like a
Oh, that's
watermelon.
fantastic.
He chopped Undertaker's head and made it, and then had that,
Yeah,
And then
Taker
they-
had to sell that shit.
and then they had the Punjabi prison match that he wasn't a part of.
Yeah, because he was so green, they went, fuck, we got to do something to put
Better
Big Show
put Big Show in there.
in. Better call Saul.
Oh dear.
But, I mean, John Morrison, if you had nothing to do with him, put him in a tag team with Ricochet.
Yeah, or put him in NXT.
You know?
Put him back there. He'll be fucking brilliant with those
Help the
guys.
talent. Yeah.
And they brought, they brought Hit Row. Hit Row
Oh.
up from NXT. They were on the main roster for, 3 weeks?
And they got cheered massively.
The whole fucking lot got let go.
Yep. What an absolute travesty. To bring them up and then instantly let them go, even though they got one of the best reactions of that night where they debuted.
What's the real story?
I think...
What's the real story? It can't be budget cuts.
So, here's what I think. I think what they're doing is they're trimming the fat of... Because they overbought. They seen that AEW was there. They wanted to buy as much talent as they could, so AEW couldn't get them, which they failed, by the way.
Now they realise they got too much.
Exactly. Now they realise they got too much, are trying to trim the fat, and what I have a feeling Vince is going to do is he's going to sell the company. He's going to try and sell it to whoever wants to buy it for the most, and what he's going to do is jack his market value up so he can sell it for more. Trim the fat, don't pay them any more salaries than he needs to, so it spikes your market value up so they can sell it for a shit ton more.
Yeah,
Does he not
I did
realise-
hear rumours that he was actually.
Does he
looking at
not
selling.
realise, though, he is helping AEW? I think part of his thing is he thinks that this talent will get signed by AEW and he'll just drink up more of Tony Khan's money. And he'll send his opposition down the gurgler through...
He's going to try and make AEW overbuy.
Good luck with that. Tony Khan's not a stupid guy. He actually knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it's not like Tony Khan's picking up every fucking WWE reject that comes off the books either.
Yeah, and
He's still picking and choosing for the most part.
exactly.
Tony Khan is smart enough to have guys like Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, and the Young Bucks in his ear saying yay or nay to talent.
And Jericho.
And
Jericho,
Jericho.
yeah.
But he's also smart enough to look at history and see what Eric Bischoff did wrong with WCW.
And Jericho will fucking tell him exactly what Bischoff did wrong because
Yeah,
He was fucking there.
He was
Exactly.
there.
Same with Big Show. Big
Yep.
Show was there.
Yep.
Tully Blanchard,
Yeah,
Arn
exactly.
Anderson, Dean Malenko.
They got pretty much all the Four Horsemen right there.
They were
Yeah,
all
except
there.
for
They all
Ric
saw what Bischoff was doing wrong.
And Flair's a bit there anyway.
But yeah, they're in a very sort of WCW position, but they're in a position where they can do what WCW did for a little bit.
They're not going to make the same mistakes as WCW.
That's
made.
right. That's right. They're in a position to do what WCW
They can be like
did.
1998 WCW, winning the fucking Monday Night War.
Well, that's the year
But
they started losing the Monday Night War.
Whatever, you know what I meant.
Yeah,
But they can go on with it.
yeah.
They've got something to go on with.
Exactly.
They're not going to fuck it. Like,
Yeah,
they're
they've
not
got.
going to let fucking Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash have creative
Like,
control.
Yeah, they got the past to look back on to see that we're not going to make the exact same mistakes as what happened in the past, which is what inevitably made WCW lose.
Exactly. I mean, AEW is not WCW level yet. Like, they're not going to be able to go straight head to head with SmackDown and Raw.
Well, they're beating him at the moment.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I hear conflicting reports about it, but
Because you've got AEW Dynamite on Wednesday nights.
yeah.
What's the name of the Friday night show? That's Rampage. isn't it?
Rampage.
Rampage.
Yeah, Rampage.
Dynamite.
Rampage goes on after SmackDown finishes.
Yeah, right.
doesn't-
Yeah,
I
Rampage,
believe.
Dynamite, and Dark.
Yeah, Dark's like that. talent
NXT,
show.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what Eric Bischoff did wrong in WCW, he had the NWO. And the NWO was an amazing concept, but there was no there was no end game.
Yeah.
There was nothing from go to woe. It was there's the NWO, and it's a brand, and we'll just ride it and just make shit up on the way.
Wasn't Goldberg supposed to beat all those motherfuckers? Wasn't
Well-
that the plan?
Well, that was the plan when Goldberg dropped the belt to Kevin Nash,
Yeah.
and then Nash dropped the belt with the finger poke of doom to Hogan.
Hogan, yeah.
Nash explains it as he wanted, much like Hogan in the 80s, to set up a whole bunch of heels for Goldberg to go through so he could earn his way back to facing Hogan and win the belt back off him. You've got to have the chase for it to mean something.
That doesn't really work for me, brother.
But the problem is that most of the NWO got injured. Goldberg got injured. And then the next year, they tried it again with the NWO Black and Silver. They had Bret Hart, Jeff Jarrett, the Outsiders. I think Scott Steiner got involved. Bret Hart gets kicked in the head by Goldberg, ends his career. Sorry about that, everyone.
That's that second COVID jab coming to get you, buddy.
Yeah, it is. And then Goldberg slices his arm open, punching
yeah.
a window.
Which takes him out of action.
Scott Hall's got his alcoholism problems.
Hey,
then,
yo.
And then they went, well, we're going to lose these guys to WWF. So what if we put the world title on Chris Benoit to keep him around? They put the belt on him for one day. And he goes, no,
See ya.
I'm still fucking off anyway because I hate you, Kevin Sullivan. And the four of them fuck off to WWF.
It's alright, he got that belt back at WrestleMania 20, so it took a while for him to get that fucker back, but he got there.
Yeah, he earned himself another title too, but we won't go into that part. But so AEW is in a really good position. AEW's thing is not to go stupid, not
Yeah.
to just start signing up everyone.
And they're not, and they haven't been.
Yeah, they've been picking and choosing.
They're still picking and choosing. There's enough talent coming off Vince's books, but they're still picking and choosing. So they're not at least making that mistake yet.
And they have so many different avenues that they can go in. The thing about AEW compared to what WWE is, AEW have such a wide range because they're choosing to work with other people, something that Vince never does.
Yeah, they're choosing to work with Ring of Honor.
They're working with
Fucking-
ROH,
Yeah.
well, sorry, which doesn't exist anymore, by the way.
Yeah, they shut down.
Yeah, they're working with New Japan and Impact.
Yep.
And it works so well that the names that they've got from New Japan coming to AEW right now is insane. They're getting Chaos, fucking Chaos, which is one of the biggest stables in New Japan, coming over to fight competitors from AEW. That's
That's awesome.
insane.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
There was one thing about the whole Kenny Omega having almost every world title at the same time.
Belt collector.
I was talking to a friend of the channel, Tim,
Hey, Tim.
TP,
Hey, man.
and he was saying one thing that annoyed him about that angle was he because he was the AEW World Champion, he also had the Impact World Title, and he also had the TNA World Title,
And the AAA.
and he had all these world titles, which meant that sort of Impact didn't have a world champion of their own. It was another company's champion. They're
Yeah, that's
kind
odd.
of...
But the thing with Kenny, though, is he appeared on Impact as well.
But it kind of lowered the the value of their title when a world champion in another company has got their world title. And I see his point. Like, I totally get it. You know, it in a dream world, like 20 years ago with the invasion angle, we were sitting there going, wouldn't it be great? WWF champion versus WCW champion. And then it slowly morphed into, you know, WWE champion versus world heavyweight champion versus ECW world champion. Let's see who's got the best. The problem is you're also missing the NWA world title, which I suppose at that point in time you could buy a box of cornflakes that was worth more than the NWA world heavyweight title. You know, the CZW title, all those other belts. But without, say, the NWA world heavyweight title, you still can't sit there and say you've got an undisputed world champion.
It's like boxing.
Yeah.
It's like a million belts.
Yeah,
a million
IBF,
different
WBO, WBA, WBC,
Yep.
WWF.
There's no such thing as an undisputed boxing. Well, there is now, somehow, some way. There's a few completely undisputed champions, but
Yeah.
you can't say that about professional wrestling, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we're still talking now. We got WWE, we've got AEW, we've
Chris
got
Jericho.
we got, TNA.
Chris Jericho,
Impact.
true undisputed champion.
Hey?
Chris Jericho, the first true undisputed champion.
Yeah, but there was still, like, TNA around and Ring of Honor and AAA.
I mean, was Kurt Angle one of the first people to be the belt collector type character? Because Kurt had like all the TNA championships at a time.
Yeah, he won a match where he won all of them. He was the tag champs, the X Division champ, and the world champ.
Simultaneously.
Because he picked Sting to be his tag team championship partner. In their first title defense, they lost him. Because Sting wanted to crack at the world title.
Jesus.
But I mean, Lance Storm, he was the first one. Because he had the WCW Canadian Championship, the Saskatchewan Invitational title.
I was going to say, stop before you hurt yourself.
Which, it was one of those Vince Russo ideas, because the initials just said for the shit title, because that was their hardcore title. And he had the 100 kilo or less championship, which was the cruiserweight title.
That's just called the cruiserweight title.
Yeah, but he changed it to the metric system.
Because of course he
He's
did.
Canadian.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, he had all those belts at the same time, because he gave the cruiserweight title to Elix Skipper, and I think he gave the hardcore title to. It wasn't Mike Awesome. I think he gave it to Jim Duggan, who just turned over and become Canadian.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do. But going back to where we were talking about the releases.
Yeah,
Just
I went off
some
track
of
quick.
these are ridiculous. Like Tegan Knox, John Morrison, Karrion Kross. I mean, how could you not do anything with Karrion Kross?
He was a monster in NXT, and they brought him up and
He
put a mask on him.
He was a monster in Impact.
Mm.
Yeah, John Morrison was amazing in Impact, Lucha Underground. How do you not do anything there? Frankie Monet, who was in Impact as Taya Valkyrie. How do you not do anything with her? Yeah, Mia Yim.
There's got to be more to it.
Nia
There's gotta
Jax.
be
I mean,
more
wait.
to it.
But, I mean, Mia Yim, they had her on the books. They did nothing with her.
Yeah, there's,
She was magic in the ring. Yeah, Keith Lee. Yeah, Shane Thorne.
Mm.
Shane Thorne was Australian. Him and I can't remember the name of the other guy, but they were TM45.
Yeah, TM45.
They were a fucking amazing tag team. Until one half of that wanted to come home because his missus just had a baby.
that's fair enough.
So that's fair. But Shane Thorne didn't get a fair shake of the sauce bottle.
Probably because all these guys have like short-term contracts and they can fuck them off.
Oh, it's just...
I mean, the only people still sticking around, like there's talent, less talented people but they're probably on like 2 or 3 year contracts.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like it can't be budget cuts is a bullshit excuse.
no, it's bullshit.
There's
excuse.
got to be something more to this.
It's John Laurinaitis' excuse.
No,
But
there's got to be something more to this, and one day it'll come out what it actually is.
Yeah, but I mean, it's look at the inner circle of Vince McMahon. You got Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchett, who is a professional bullshit artist,
John Laurinaitis.
John Laryngitis, who his idea of hiring talent is, when it comes to the women's division, hire them pretty and then teach them to wrestle. Don't hire a wrestler that's pretty. Don't hire your Jamie Hayters or your Kylan Kings or
And then proceeds to release the person that he hired.
yeah. You know, and like, I'm sorry, John Laryngitis. I know you'll never hear this, but no one wants to see your daughters-in-law, not daughters-in-law, your stepdaughters, wrestle ever again. I would be happy if I never saw the fucking Bellas in the ring ever again. No one wants to see them. So fuck them off. They keep talking to me, oh, we'll make a comeback, we have one last match. Don't want to see them. Jog on. I'd rather see Lita wrestle one more match.
Paige.
I see
Paige.
Paige and AJ Lee.
She wants to
Yeah.
come back too.
Yeah, Paige is trying to find a way to get cleared so that she can wrestle again.
I'd love to see that.
Oh, so would I. She was magic in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
She
Magic on the mic.
She is the British equivalent of Charlotte Flair.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, her family, wrestling royalty.
She's
She
got
could
fakies now too.
She could legitimately fucking probably go with Charlotte as well.
Oh yeah,
She could like be a believable fucking Charlotte beater.
yeah.
More
Well,
than
if-
just fucking Becky Lynch.
Her first night on Raw, she beat AJ,
AJ
for
Lee.
the Divas Championship at the time.
Yeah,
Like,
but
not many
AJ
women can say that.
fucking-
And AJ can
fucking
fucking
go.
wrestle too. But she said that she doesn't want to get back into wrestling, unfortunately. Which would have been cool
I'd
to see
like
her
to
come
see
back.
her in AEW.
Absolutely.
I mean, the last Mae Young Classic they did, they brought back Caitlyn.
Yeah.
She could still go. You know,
Yeah.
they brought back Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb now is in AEW, I think,
Yep. Yes, she is.
or NWA, one of the two.
I think. Oh no, so she's in NWA, not AW.
I mean, they let go of Mickey James earlier in the year. How do you let go of Mickey James?
And put her stuff into a trash bag,
Yeah, put his stuff in a trash bag.
which Vince himself went out and apologised for.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Like, Vince has got no clue. He breaks up tag teams for no apparent reason, then releases half of the tag team so we can't ever get that tag team back together again. He releases perfectly good talent like Tegan Knox. She was amazing in the ring. But instead, we got to sit here and suffer through people like Carmella, who couldn't wrestle a lick. You know, every tag team we got, I'm waiting for them to split up the Street Profits.
Please don't.
Please
don't.
don't. I don't like them. They're fun.
Okay, the Street Profits. If you're going to keep the Usos together, you can keep the Street Profits together. You can keep the New Day together.
Don't
You
ever
can
split
get
up the New Day.
You can get the Usos together no matter how many fucking DUIs fucking Jay gets.
The day that the New Day breaks up is the day I stop watching WWE.
That's, well, I mean, they already half tried it.
And you know what? As a novelty, he was great, but I'm sick of seeing Dominic Mysterio. He really is not that great in the ring.
Yeah, he either needs to like start going or fucking off.
Dominic's a hard one because he started wrestling in the period without the audience, and in the middle of it he was introduced to the crowds, so he sort of didn't. He's hard because he didn't kind of learn with the crowds there, which I'll give him a pass for that. Give him like a year when he's in front of the crowds. I think that's what they're doing. They're putting him in front of crowds more and more and more so he gets used to it more. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's Rey Mysterio's fucking son, and he's been in front of crowds his whole life. But he goes pretty well for somebody who's only been wrestling for less than a year. I'll give him that.
And he's not his dad. He's like fucking twice the size of his dad.
Yeah.
He ain't doing no fucking...
He can still do
Vanilla
flippy
magic.
dippy shit. He does like tornado DDTs and plancha moonsaults and shit.
He just looks completely uneasy in the ring. Like, it worked
He's
for his
not-
I think it's a
first match.
confidence thing.
He's not as natural as his dad.
Yeah.
No.
Not nowhere near
Yet.
as flowy, but
Yet.
yeah, give him some time. I reckon he'll become more and more confident in that ring, and he'll be the next Rey Mysterio in the way of like lucha.
And that's the other thing too. Like, WWE keeps trying to find their next Rey Mysterio. The problem is they had their next Mysterio. They had Sin Cara. They had Hunico, who then became
Morrison.
Sin Cara. You had Grand Metalik. You had Kalisto.
Grand Master Metalik,
Lince Dorado.
Lucha House Party.
And you've let them all go. You had 3 Rey Mysterios.
Yep.
In
John
a
Morrison.
faction. Yeah, John
Is
Morrison.
Lucha?
Ricochet. You've got Ricochet now.
Ricochet.
You got Ricochet now, and you sit there and say, well, oh, look at all this beef, pal. You're fucking Finn Balor.
Yes.
Fucking Finn Balor.
Finn Balor and Ricochet. Like, you want your next Rey Mysterio. Even Matt
Here's-
Riddle.
here's-
Matt Riddle can fucking go.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got Ricochet, you've got Finn Balor. What do? You keep ramming Seth goddamn Rollins down my throat.
I like Seth Rollins, though.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
But
if you're looking for a fucking go-to cruiserweights, you've got Matt Riddle, you've got Seth, you've got Ricochet,
You still got
and
Ray
you've got Finn, and,
Still-
and Ray's still there.
and you still
Ray's-
got AJ Styles.
and AJ.
Ray's-
Fuck yeah.
Like, Ray's can still go. Like, he got his fucking knee surgery. He can still fucking go. He
Yeah, but
hasn't
he's
got-
coming towards the end of his
He hasn't
time.
got long left. He's got probably
No.
less than 5 years. Probably
Yeah.
not even that. Probably three.
But he's still got Jeff Hardy.
Hey Jeff.
Jeff will be coming to the end of it soon, though.
Yeah,
He's been lucky with injuries.
I want to
This time.
see. I want to see him get another title. I don't care what one. I want to see him get another title.
I want.
I want to see him get a main run.
It won't be
Well,
a major title.
Well, then it comes back to something else. I mean, tonight's best matches. I didn't see the pre-show match, but apparently it was a really good match. Was Shinsuke versus Damian Priest?
Didn't have a fuck ending. I think it
But-
had a fuck ending.
Yeah, it had a DQ finish.
Yeah.
But you know, you got. I think you were saying to me earlier, like, who's the Intercontinental Champion? Because the Intercontinental Champion should be the workhorse title. The United States Championship should be the workhorse
I
title.
think it's Shinsuke still, isn't it?
Yeah, Shinsuke's the IC champ and Damian Priest is the US champ. But-
Yeah, right.
But
Neither
no
of them
one
on the
knows.
show.
They don't do anything with these belts.
Yeah, neither of
Shinsuke
them.
hasn't defended it since he's done 2 title defense since he got it in August.
Yeah, neither
Yeah,
of them are
like,
on the
you
main show.
used to- you used to know what those belts were because they used to open the pay-per-views, mostly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
How many WrestleManias started with a US or an Intercontinental
Well-
title match?
well-
Fucking all of them.
Or the European champ.
Yep.
In the Attitude Era, at the end of the first hour of Raw, back when Raw only went for 2 hours, the end of the first hour of Raw was the Intercontinental title match.
Yep.
If
Yep.
it wasn't the IC, it was European, or it was a tag title match.
Yep. The end of the first hour was the mid-carder title. The end of the second hour was the WWF champ.
Yeah.
And usually during the start of it was like a hardcore title. Like
Yeah.
just a random hardcore, like,
Yeah.
backstage segment.
The first hour were your mid-carders and your fucking up-and-comers. Your second hour were your main eventers.
Everything in the Attitude Era had a purpose.
It was fucking simple.
Yeah, and look at
Now they've-
Mania 17.
Now they fucking, the best Mania.
The best Mania.
They
The first
fucking
match.
overthink everything now.
Very first match. Jericho versus Regal. European Championship.
Yep, fucking awesome.
And that was a fucking brilliant match. Like,
Fucking awesome.
one of the best opening matches of any pay-per-view I've seen in a long time.
Look at my favourite WrestleMania, which was 14. It started with a tag team battle royale, which brought back LOD with Sonny as LOD 2000. And the pay-per-view started as the second last team was coming out for doing their entrance.
Mm.
You had Ken Shamrock versus The Rock for the IC title. You
Gotta
had
love that
Triple
thing.
H versus Owen Hart for the European title, with China handcuffed to Sergeant Slaughter. You had Taker versus Kane in possibly the best story build-up
Ever.
ever. It was like, it just stretched for months, but it was so well told.
Yep.
And then on the night, it was such a great match. People sit there and go, "Ooh, it wasn't a very good match." Well, you don't know fucking shit. Shut your fucking hole. Then you had, for the main event, you also, there was some other match on there. I can't remember what it was, but you had Stone Cold versus Shawn Michaels with Mike Tyson as the guest enforcer.
Tyson,
the WWE title.
right hand.
And you had Taker out back strapping his hands just in case Shawn Michaels didn't do business. Business was going to get done, you know.
Yeah.
And every match on there was a great match. Oh, they had Aguilar versus Taka Michinoku for the light heavyweight title. Even that was a good match. And you had
Inventor of the Michinoku driver.
the dumpster match between the New Age Outlaws and Cactus Jack and Changeless Charlie for the tag titles.
That was brutal.
It was brutal, but every match on that card deserved to be on there, earned its stripes, and it was not a single bad match. Same as
all
Mania
build up.
17, Mania 20.
Yeah, Mania 20 was
Yep.
good. Yeah, just everything this day is just fucking overthought. Everything's overthought or underthought. And
It's undercooked and overthought.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Because
They-
it's got too many old timers who just
They
are
can't
past their
connect.
prime.
they're fucking 50, 60, 70-year-old
Like-
people trying to connect with an audience that is fucking primarily fucking teenagers and young adults now.
Look at this year's WrestleMania. They had to postpone the start of WrestleMania this year because of the
rain.
weather.
Yep.
So they got the talent to cut unscripted promos. It was the first
That
time
was
I got
fun.
to see Drew McIntyre cut a promo that wasn't written out for him, where he could be himself.
It was
So
fun.
Fucking
Yeah.
brilliant.
Kevin Owens was the same.
Yeah.
Like, you had all these guys cutting promos old school.
And you could tell the ones that are a cut above the rest is because they thrive in that type of environment where they can be just off the cuff. You can tell the guys that have been on the indies, KO for one, Drew was in the indies for quite a while himself as well. Those guys know how to do that because when they're in the indies, you don't have any writers doing that shit for you. You got to do it yourself.
That's the
And
first
you've
thing
got-
you learn.
And
how
you've
you
got one take at it.
Exactly. You got one take on in front of live cam. That's
Yeah.
it.
You do your fucking day's worth of training, you get a camera, and
Fucking-
you fucking line up, and you get one take.
Sid Vicious. Can we do that again? No, we're live,
No,
pal.
mate, it's life, pal.
I remember fucking Undertaker telling that story at the end of this fucking training with whoever the fuck he trained with, and he's like, "You get one shot at this."
Yeah.
Some guys fucking made it, some guys couldn't make it.
Yep.
He was one that could.
Yeah, and I mean, God, I had something in my head then. Yeah, well, I mean, here's a good shot at someone who seems to be just taking promos at bullet points and putting his own personality into it. The two guys, and they're both in NXT. Tommaso Ciampa,
Gargano.
Braun Breaker.
Oh yeah, Braun Breaker, absolutely.
Braun Breaker, he seems to just sit there and go, how can I make this script sound like my uncle, Scott Steiner?
Just get really fucking angry.
Just sit there, everybody know, what's the know?
You're
Talking
an,
gibberish.
you're an angry, steroid-raged fucking trailer trash piece of shit.
And just start calling the crowd fat.
But,
And everyone's a fat piece of crap.
because everyone's got some fat asses.
Fat
But
asses.
here's a question for you both. How many Drew McIntyre promos do you remember? Besides the WrestleMania one from this year.
Well, the WrestleMania one when he was about to verse Brock was good. No, that's about it.
His one versus...
Was he going to verse Roman Reigns? I think he did. I think that was a good... He cut a good promo on Roman.
His promo against Jinder. That's actually one of the ones I remember because he reminisced about when they were in 3MB and they end up stealing his sword or some shit. That went to gibberish after that, but that was one of them I do fondly remember, which is good.
Okay.
Yeah,
or-
but not many. To
But
your
yeah,
point-
not
to
many
your
comes
point,
to my
not
head straight
many.
away.
Right, how many Scott Steiner promos do you remember?
Fucking all of them.
Anytime he actually walked up in fucking TNA.
How many Ric Flair promos do you remember?
Fucking heaps.
How many Hulk Hogan ones do you remember?
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, but you remember them because they were
Iconic.
I mean, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Fucking heaps.
Oh yeah.
You know, your cup of
Fucking
coffee in the big time. You're
It's a lot of
riding on the edge of a lightning bolt, and I do not apologize for that.
A
Yeah,
lot of fucking cocaine.
yeah.
How many Vincent McMahon promos do you remember?
It's me, Austin. It's me all along.
Maybe not so much promos, but angles. Yeah,
Speak-
fucking yeah, good.
Speaking
angles.
of that, they had a picture up on Facebook, on the WWE Facebook, with Austin with the egg in his hand. With the quote, "It was me, Austin." It's me all along.
But you see my point, which is no one remembers the scripted promos. They're
Yeah.
not memorable. I mean, CM Punk. You remember the pipe bomb?
Everyone remembers the pipe bomb.
Because it's off the
Everyone
cuff.
remembers the pipe bomb. And then 2 weeks later, he showed up and was doing Star Angels in the middle of the ring. They had that anonymous general manager.
Yeah.
And the anonymous general manager's sitting there saying, "Oh, CM Punk, will you get out? I demand that you get out of the ring." And he got on the microphone and said, "Well, I demand that you stand here and watch me make damn Star Angels in the ring." You know, CM Punk, without a script, even if you just gave him bullet points and said, make it your own, he could make it your own and you had something memorable.
Yeah, most of the time they handed him a fucking script and he tore it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's like, this isn't what I would fucking say.
Same thing with The Rock and Austin. They
Yeah.
did the exact same things. They didn't want scripts. They just did it off the cuff.
It's like, I'll
Yeah.
do it my way.
Yeah.
My way, the highway.
You know, and like one of Austin's promos that I remember was it was him versus The Rock, and The Rock was saying, "I'm going to take you to the SmackDown hotel," and Austin's like, "Cool, I'm going to go and check into the SmackDown hotel. I'm going to walk all the way up to room 360. I'm going to burn that sumbitch down to the ground." Yeah, they were the promos you remembered because it was Austin being Austin.
Yeah, it was him bouncing off The Rock,
Yeah.
and then The Rock bouncing off Austin, and then just working out storylines and promos, working off their own lines.
And I think it highlights that Vince McMahon is a control freak. Even the commentators can't be the commentators.
Yep.
They have to have Vince McMahon blasting in their ear, telling them to get the damn line over or something. No wonder Michael Cole's lost 65% of his hearing. He's got Vince McMahon yelling at him through the headphones.
To fucking promote Red Faction
That's
And
what
Red
Fucking-
Notice.
and fucking Pizza Hut.
that's what made your JRs, your Kings, your
Joey Styles.
Joey Styles, and made those
Tony
guys.
Schiavone's.
Yeah, Shivani. Who was it?
Mike Tenay and Don West.
Who was it on AEW, NXT?
Mauro Ranallo.
Mauro Ranallo. It's what made those guys so good is
That
they
was-
didn't have a yes man in their ear.
The Cruiserweight Classic, where it was
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan and Mauro Ranallo on commentary.
Fucking perfect.
Perfect. Even the first Mae Young Classic, it was JR and Lita. Great.
Even Beth Phoenix.
I find her a bit dull.
She's a bit dull, but she
I
was
like
still
I
a
like
wrestler
Pat
that.
McAfee.
Yeah, Pat McAfee's fucking
I
brilliant.
feel like he's like not tethered by Vince McMahon at the moment. Because
Yeah.
he can just because he's the only one out there being his fucking self.
I mean,
Yeah.
Morello. Right. What was
Mauro
it?
Mauro
Ranallo.
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 Ronaldo.
Give me him and
Nigel McGuinness.
Nigel McGuinness. Give me
They-
those two again.
Just Nigel McGuinness. Mwah. Chef's kiss.
Ronaldo's
Perfect.
gone. JBL fucking booed him. And then he left.
He came back for a little bit
Yeah.
for a couple of events. I'm pretty sure.
Those
Even
are right.
JBL was pretty good on commentary.
Yeah, but he's a piece of shit
You know,
apparently.
who I reckon they should do commentary though?
Who?
Kevin Nash. He is friggin' awesome on the
Goldberg.
microphone.
He's
He is
good.
absolute legend on the microphone.
He's good off past.
Yeah.
Gladiator of a
don't
man.
don't put him with Booker T or Scott Steiner though, because that's
Wait.
just a car wreck.
You don't hear Shucky Ducky Quack Quack again?
No, I'm over that. That can jog on. But I mean, even the King, Jerry Lawler, is not very good without JR.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
needs to work with someone that is a shot caller.
You know,
Or,
even,
sorry, play-by-play.
even Paul Heyman worked really well with JR. But even Paul Heyman could go too far sometimes.
Mm,
But, like, Joey Styles was great.
absolutely.
Right, so we're going to pull it up there. But,
It's almost midnight, gentlemen. We're going to turn into pumpkins.
Yeah.
yeah, I've got work in the morning.
Yeah,
so do
we
I.
do. Yes, we do.
So, thank you everyone for tuning in. I know I got a little bit sidetracked for about half an hour there of me ranting about releases and stuff
Everything.
like that, but it is a news story and we want to give our spin on news type of stuff
Hey,
in the
Phil,
world of pro wrestling.
Phil rants are the best rants.
Oh, yeah, they're not quite up there with Adam Wilborn from What Culture, but they're close. Thank you for tuning in. The next pay-per-view, I think, is called The One, which is on...
Day one.
Day
New
one.
Year's.
It should be called New Year's Revolution because that's a perfect pay-per-view name for a January 1st.
Absolutely.
But Vince McMahon likes fucking that up too, so
Yeah, well, he's moved the Royal Rumble to a Saturday night in America.
that works for us.
That does work
Yeah,
for
works
us.
well for us.
Yeah.
We're live.
So we are going to do day 1, which is January 2 here.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing that it's not New Year's Day for us. Because
Yes.
some of us be nursing mighty fine hangovers.
Yeah, well, I don't have a gig on New Year's Eve anymore because my bandmates won't go and get the fucking jab. It's
not gonna
okay, they're
stop
not
me.
going to hear this shit, so it doesn't matter.
It's not going to stop me getting hammered drunk.
But, yeah, so the next pay-per-view is day 1.
Day one.
Day 1. Day 1 if you're in Mexico.
Juan Sanchez.
And then after that is the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble should be an interesting one. We should have an extra couple of people on board for that one.
My favourite pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah, that and WrestleMania.
Yes.
And Money in the Bank.
Yes.
Right. So thank you for tuning in. We will see you next year. Next year with the next one. Next one of these ones. So until then, thank you for tuning in.
Have a
And-
very Merry Christmas, guys.
Christmas and Happy New Year. And until then, it is goodbye.